Hey guys, welcome to the page, welcome to the vlog, and welcome to this episode of information on driving for Skip the Dishes. So I've been doing this for about 3 months now, almost 4 months, and I feel like I've got a good handle on Skip the Dishes, how it works, how to start with Skip the Dishes. So I just wanted to throw this video together. If you're a new driver or somebody thinking about driving for Skip the Dishes, hopefully this will give you some information on the process. So basically, when I signed up for Skip the Dishes, went to the website, filled out my information. You can also use a referral code as well too. So this is my little plug. If you do sign up for Skip the Dishes, you use my email address listed below. I get paid $25. You get paid $25. So if you guys could do that, that'd be great if you're signing up for Skip the Dishes. Otherwise, you fill out all the information, and they basically from that point on, an interview is scheduled. So they call you, it's about a 15-20 minute phone call, and they kind of discuss the process, answer any questions. So once that's done, if it's something you still want to move forward with, then you need to purchase your bags. So you will need to fork out the money to purchase your bags. Skip the Dishes does not give you your bags for free. So the bags up here in Canada, I don't know if they're the same in the US as far as pricing goes, but we pay, I think it's about $75 for the bags. So $70, $75, somewhere in that range. So that's the first thing that you need to fork out money for. Once your bags are purchased, you pay with them with a credit card, and they send you a Google document, and then you can go to one of the areas where they've got bags stored. So it's basically at some of their partner restaurants, essentially is the way I was explained it. So that's how you get your bags. Once you have your bags, you actually call them, and then you're, boom, set up in the system. So as soon as I picked up my bags, I was able to go into the app, and I was able to start accepting shifts. Now, so that's the first thing that I want to tell you guys about. Next thing is vehicle size and costs. So you want a vehicle that's going to be very fuel efficient. We've got 2 vehicles in our household. My primary one that I drive is a Hyundai Tucson. I mean, I'm not affiliated with Hyundai at all. That's just what we had, right? It's a small fuel efficient car, like a 2-liter engine. I don't know what the size of it is, but it gets about 100 kilometers per 10 liters of fuel. So 10 liters per 100 kilometers is what it burns, roughly. Highway driving, it's better. Anyway, so the way that works out is it's roughly about 10 cents per kilometer is the way it works. So, you know, if I was to drive 100 kilometers in one night, then gas is going to cost me roughly about $10. Now that fluctuates with fuel costs, but that's where it's at. So you want something that's very, very fuel efficient. If you're driving, our other vehicle is a Nissan Armada, big vehicle, big engine, V8. It uses almost double the amount of fuel. So good in a pinch, but not great for day-to-day driving. It's just slower to drive around. I mean, our little car that we drive, it's very peppy and quick, and it's just easy to park and stuff like that. So it just makes more sense. Income and tax write-offs is my next note. So basically, you want to keep track of all your expenses. That's a big deal. Me and my wife have been involved in network marketing or home-based business for years now. And one of the best benefits of having a home-based business, not that Skip the Dishes is, but is you can get a ton of tax write-offs. So with Skip the Dishes, you might be making X number of dollars, but you're spending this much on fuel and insurance and things like that. So keep all those receipts. I use a tax program myself at the end of the year, and I do my own taxes, but you can use an accountant as well too. And there's just lots of really, really good ways to do it. I wouldn't suggest making the money and reporting the income and not doing anything to take some of those expenses away. So that's the next thing. So we talked about the initial bags. You'll also need float. So one of the requirements of Skip the Dishes is you'll need to have $60 in cash with you. Now I know there's a bunch of drivers out there that have commented on my other videos. They'll just decline any cash orders. I don't like that idea because you might get paid some good tips on the cash orders. So for me, it wasn't a big deal to take $60 and put it out there. I keep it in a Ziploc bag, and that's what I use for float. Now you don't get a ton of cash orders in my area. You might get 1 out of every 20, but they're there. Cell phone and data. You will need to have obviously a cell phone, and you need to have a decent data plan on your phone. We didn't have a huge increase in the data I used. Like I was maybe, I'm just going to throw some numbers out here. I was maybe using 2 gigabytes a month, and now I might be using 3. And that's like driving 5 or 6 days a week. So it's not a huge increase in your number, but it does make a difference, right? So that's important to keep in mind. When you start your shift, you'll turn your Wi-Fi off. So even if you're going to like a Wi-Fi hotspot, you don't want to be turning your Wi-Fi on and off because that interferes with the app. So those are all important things, guys. What else? The app update as well too. Recently in my area, we got an app update. And now I know this hasn't been rolled out or isn't available in all areas, but the app update is awesome. It actually offers you the order first. So what I mean by that is you'll get your order pop through, but it's an offer, and you can accept that offer or you can just let it pass. I don't accept all the orders. If an order just doesn't make sense for me, meaning if there's no tip, if it's taking me out of my normal zone and driving way too far, I won't accept it unless it's a really, really good tip. But it just helps me maximize my time on Skip the Dishes. And I love the new app update. It is phenomenal. And I won't, very, very seldom will I accept an order without a tip. The only way I would accept an order without a tip is if it's really close. So if I'm within a minute or two of picking up the food, and if the customer is going to be within 5-6 minutes of dropping the food off. So if the order will take under 10 minutes to pick up and deliver, then I'll think about accepting the order without a tip, but otherwise no tip, no food from me anyways. So that is kind of the ins and outs of getting started with Skip the Dishes, guys. The last thing I'll leave with you is the scheduling. So you can set your availability in the app. So what happens is, let's say today is Monday. The availability is due by Wednesday at midnight for the next week. So on Thursday of this week, the schedule comes out for the next week. Now, if you don't set any availability, you won't get any shifts. But you can go on the app at that time and you can accept random shifts. Now that's not necessarily such a great thing if you've got a full-time job. So I work a full-time job, do Skip the Dishes in the evening, and I set my availability, and it works quite well for me. But you can also delete those shifts as well too. So if you got the next week's schedule on Thursday, you take a look at it and say, well, you know, Monday doesn't really work, Wednesday doesn't really work. I'm just going to delete those shifts. And when you delete them, there might be a better shift that works better for your schedule, or you just delete them, and it's no big deal. But if you let it go within 48 hours, so under 48 hours and you delete the shift, they say that it's a negative against you on the system. So I try not to do that, but it happens. So that's basically the ins and outs of driving for Skip the Dishes, guys, getting started. If you have any questions, post them below. There's a bunch of people that regularly watch my videos. They've got great insight and they can comment on these videos as well too, and I'll do my best to answer any questions listed below. But thank you so much for coming across this video. Check out my other videos. There's tons of great videos about driving for Skip the Dishes, and I do it almost daily and vlog it and blog it and keep track of everything. It's lots of fun. So again, guys, if you have any questions, list them below. And again, my email is listed below as well too. So if you're thinking about driving for Skip the Dishes and you don't have somebody that's referred you, use my referral code and I get paid 25 bucks, and so do you. And that's basically it. So thank you so much for finding this video. Give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button if you like my content, and we will see you guys later.